Oswego Chamber of Commerce's third annual Breakfast with the Mayor. So thank you, Mayor Buck, for joining us here. I am Alistair Furman. I am board chair of the Chamber of Commerce. And the Chamber of Commerce here in Lake Oswego is entering, well, we're almost 85 years old in the community. So we're super proud and excited for that milestone coming up. And we are the voice of business here in the city for those of you who have business or are involved in business. So thank you all for being here. We appreciate it. We have a few folks in the audience I'd like to first introduce, and some groups I'd love to tell you about. So we have some affinity groups for our growing membership, and yes, our membership is growing, which is fantastic. We have a group specifically focused on the downtown area here, for businesses here. We have a group focused in the Lake Grove area for the businesses along Boonesbury Road and in that area. We also have a West End group, and that's for all the businesses west of Boonesbury Road, think office buildings, right? And those groups meet once a month and get together and talk about issues and talk about wonderful things that are happening in their area, so we can then bring those back into the chamber. And we need to talk to the city. We bring the city in as a partner to work through some of those. We have some new groups too we'd like to let you know about. For those who live or work in Lake Oswego and are members of the chamber. The first one is a tech group that we put together with the help of some folks here. And I know we have one individual here, Kabir. If you would raise your hand. I think, yep, so if you have any questions, please talk to Kabir. But that meets the third Tuesday of every month, and that'll be from 4:30 to 6. We call it LO Tech Connect. So if you live in Lake Oswego and you're in tech, or you work in Lake Oswego, that's for you. We have a young professionals group that's starting up the second Tuesday of every month, and that is predominantly designed for folks 21 to 35, right, to get out, to learn about networking, to be able to really connect with folks who are more their age range. So that's fantastic. And we're super excited, and that launches February 10th. And we're super excited about the new Women in Business group, which will meet quarterly beginning February 25th. Julie, would you raise your hand? And if you have any questions, Julie's up here, and we're super excited for that as well. You can find more information on the back table, or just ask any of our chamber team about these groups if you have any interest. I want to take a moment to introduce today's sponsors, so please stand when I mention your name. We have our bronze sponsor, which is Woofies, owned by Rory Rojas and Kelsey Gardner. Thank you very much for that. If you have dogs, you definitely want to talk to them. Yep, so that works out perfect. We have a silver sponsor, Fisher Family Law, owned by Sonia Fisher. So please, thank you. And our title sponsor this morning is Visiting Angels, and I'd like to invite to join me at the podium owner Michael Jameson and also Tanya Rosequist. And we're super excited because they recently relocated their headquarters from the whole Portland area here to Lake Oswego. So we're super excited for that, and we regularly see them at networking. And would you tell us a little bit about Visiting Angels?
I would be glad to. I actually kept some notes here just to keep some of the more salient things. But so I just want to say good morning, Mayor Buck. It's great to be here and meet you. And you know, we've been so welcomed into the community since we moved here. And my name is Michael Jameson, and I'm the owner of Visiting Angels. And I have some of the team here with me today, so I just want to do a quick intro. We have Grant Jameson, who is our director for the Portland area. Spencer Rule is one of our nurses here in our Lake Oswego office. And Joshua Gillick is our marketing director, who covers our Portland, Eugene, and Metro locations. And he's been dubbed the I-5 Angel because he gets a lot of windshield time. And of course, Tanya Rosequist is our local marketing representative. At Visiting Angels, we have the opportunity to serve some truly amazing people, from former world-class athletes. We had a gentleman who served with the Apollo 11 support team. We had a lady that was a 1940s national radio star, but it's mostly the everyday folks, the salt of the earth, that those are the people that make it so memorable for us. And I'll just share a quick story with you. We had a gentleman, his name was Fred. He was 100 years old, and I was visiting Fred the week before his 101st birthday. And I said, Fred, you're going to be 101 next week. That's great. And Fred said, have you tried it? So we made the exciting decision to move to Lake Oswego in October of 2024, and we're at the Center Point Business Park area. And you know, we were just drawn here by the community's strong sense of community. And you know, we're not just coming as a company. I actually made the move personally. My personal residence the last couple of weeks made the move. Still can't find the box with my ties in it. So, but at Visiting Angels, one of our guiding visions is honoring the art of giving. And we recognize that and celebrate the incredible gifts that our caregivers bring every day. A heartfelt, selfless support to seniors in their homes and their families. Now, we're not a facility. We actually have caregivers that go out into the community and help people in their homes. So, you know, our vision brings our core values into play, and you know, we want to employ individuals who demonstrate integrity and have a strong sense of character, show up with honesty and reliability, and genuine care. So, for example, you know, we only hire about 6 out of 100 applicants, so we're pretty particular about who we hire because it's really important that they have those qualities. So, being here in Lake Oswego enables us to live the values more fully that we have and serving our neighbors and building lasting relationships. So we're glad to be here, and we thank you for the warm welcome that you've given us.
One more little part. So we wanted to have Mayor join the caregiving team, an honorary caregiver of Lake Oswego. So welcome to Visiting Angels. And we heard you're a foodie, but we're snackies and we like to have fun. So we put together a basket here for you. We have official name tag. Grant likes Doritos. I love gummy bears. There's chocolate. We're sock people and we love butter. We recently learned how to make butter in their office. Come along, come over, join our team. It's not boring. It's nice to meet you.
Thank you, Michael and Tanya, to the whole team at Visiting Angels. So what we'd like to do quickly, and we need your cooperation to do this. It's super helpful when the mayor stands up and talks to you about the city to know who is in the room. So what we're gonna do, speed round, you get your name and your business or organization. Fair? So we know this is the Visiting Angels table, so we can skip them. So we'll start right here.
First, I'm Julie with Rate Mortgage.
I'm Lotus Chung with Element Hypnosis.
Anthony Barber, Veterans of Foreign Wars.
Kathy Barber, Veterans of Foreign Wars Auxiliary.
Tony Picola, On Point Community Credit Union.
Good morning, Brian Garrett, Studio B Photography.
Meredith Bureau, On Point Community Credit Union.
I'm Jessica with Assured Hospice.
Hi, I'm Lara with the Alzheimer's Association.
Hi, Kirk with Fisher Family Law.
And Sonia with Fisher Family Law.
Good morning, Diane Mead with Pets First, Diane's Priority Pet Care.
Tina Hardy, Health Source of Lake Oswego.
Carrie Nobles, volunteer.
Lauren Masters, Global Travel Masters.
Paul Van Roon, Chamber Board Member and President of Lake Oswego Rotary Club.
Jordan Borkowski, co-chair of the Ambassador Committee.
Matthew Shore, Banner Bank.
Amy Hammerstrom with Girl Scouts of Oregon and Southwest Washington.
Caitlin Weiss with Travel and Cruise Desk and co-chair of the Ambassador.
Dakota Gonzalez with Center Flow Therapeutics.
Caroline Carr with Maddie's Ice Cream Bike.
Nell Diamond, City of Lake Oswego and Lake Oswego Rotary Club.
Good morning, Chris O'Brien, Active Media, featuring Lake Oswego Lifestyle Publication.
Simone Coker-Camna with Hunger Fighters Oregon.
Good morning, Kelly Lair with the Lake Oswego Review.
Good morning, Stacy Yost with Neo Home Loans.
Good morning, Jane Fendon with Fendon Properties and Live Love Lake Oswego.
Bruce Southworth, CPA, Clifton Larson Allen.
Ben Kane with Columbia Bank.
Kay Valentine, Dino's Pizzeria.
David Blotter with Columbia Bank.
Hi Joe, Matt Chrisman with Columbia Bank.
Susan Stoll now with Elite Real Estate.
Julia Fowler with Cloudminders.
Matt Evans, Chamber Staff.
Tony Ack, the House of Rose. Brad Ono, Equity Advantage.
Chief.
Dan Brown, Farmers Insurance, and member of the Board of Directors of the Chamber.
Chad Martin, Bank of the Pacific.
Mike Mead, Clifton Larson Allen.
Wayne Connell, Residential Investment Properties.
Good morning, I'm Genevieve Ford with the Lake Oswego Lions Club, and yes, we're still collecting eyeglasses and hearing aids.
Hey Joe, everybody here from Hello Every Day.
Good morning, Panatar Rosado, Iron Coaching.
Jeff Monroe, Lake Oswego Parks and Rec Director.
Jessica Numonaluk, Community Development Director, City Lake Oswego.
Christine Artman, Assistant Chief, Fire Department.
Good morning, Megan Phelan, Assistant City Manager, City of Lake Oswego, and also a Chamber Board member.
Hi, I'm Erica Rooney. I'm the Public Works Director and City Engineer.
Georgia Fields with Unitas Community Credit Union.
Janice McGuire with Mary's Woods Retirement Community.
Heather Joy with the Valiant Group.
Doug Cushing, Calford McWayne Attorneys.
Jeff Devine, Form and Function Chiropractic.
Jody Black, Form and Function Chiropractic.
Ryan Gaylord, Minuteman Press, Lake Oswego.
Jordan Terrell, the Valiant Group.
Robin from Liquor.
Melissa Kelly, City of Lake Oswego Library.
Alec Mack, as well.
James from Northwest Benefit Solutions, and that's it.
Heather Graves Ramsey, Coach to Brilliance, past chair of the Lake Oswego Chamber.
Patty Mahler with Marsh McClellan Agency Insurance.
Good morning, Dawn Irwin, Director's Mortgage.
Julian Rivas, also here with SESWAP.
Christopher Boyer, the Academy of Modern Martial Arts.
Christine Boyer with the Academy of Modern Martial Arts.
Good morning, everybody. Dr. Peter Vila with Portland Face Doctor.
Dave Ryback, Oswego Wealth Management and Board Member.
Marcia Keys, Cascade Hassan, Sotheby's Realty, and Board Member. Yvonne Duet with Cascade Hassan, Sotheby's, and past Ambassador of the Chamber.
John Lennon, Lake Oswego City Council.
Rob Chevalier, retired attorney, Buckley Law.
Tulsi Zidman with Woofies of Southwest Portland, running a 2-for-1 mayor special this month.
Rosie Rojas, Whoopies, and also part of the membership committee.
Annalisa Pena with Metke Remodeling and Luxury Homes.
Catherine Burge, Lake Oswego Pet City.
Liz Hartman, Lake Oswego Chamber of Commerce.
Martha Bennett, City of Lake Oswego.
Kim Ono, City of Lake Oswego.
Wow.
Nicely
Thank
done.
you all. You want a tight ship in this city, Mayor? Well, thank you all for following instructions, and now it's my pleasure to introduce Mayor Joe Buck. He's been a member of the Chamber of Commerce for a very long time. All three of his restaurants, Gubanks, Babaca Hen, and Lola's, are all members, right? And so he's also been, I think, a past board member.
Treasurer.
And treasurer of the chamber, so very involved, and he's not the only small business owner on the city council as well. So we're fortunate to have him here in this space. We're fortunate to live in a very business-friendly city. I think you all know that. We appreciate that. And we like to partner with the city to make sure that that stays that way. This is the third year Mayor Buck has spoken with our local business community. We will have the time at the end of his talk to have some Q&A. Okay, so we should be good in that sense. And welcome, Mayor Buck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. It's great to, so many of you I've known for a long time. It's great to see so many familiar faces and also to meet those of you that are just connecting for the first time. So welcome to City Hall. It's great to have you all here. I was, Alistair talked about their restarting the Young Professionals of LO program, which is great. But also I was thinking about it when I saw this, because I first kind of got connected with the chamber through the Young Professionals, and I saw the 35 cap, and I thought, wow, you know, things are and then it's coming full circle, because now I'm care giver. Soon I'm going to be needing care. It's all just happening so quickly. And our local community has always been a source of unity and strength, and it's our relationships and what we do together and how we do it that really matters. Supporting one another in the workplace, in our neighborhoods, and as a city, continuing to provide a steady, reliable government that many folks rely on is more critical now than ever. And sometimes when there's kind of a lot of chaos and uncertainty around us, sometimes the best thing, I know Councilor Linda and I work hard at this, sometimes the best thing we can do as a local government is have really boring meetings about the important things that we are doing every day to serve our residents, our workers, and those who pass through here. So I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the important and very boring things that we are doing here on a day-to-day basis to continue moving our community forward. So every 2 years, the community does a community kind of attitudes survey, and we just did one in 2025. And in December, we received the community survey results. This gives us a statistically kind of valid way of measuring the general attitudes of our city residents towards city services and programs. And Lake Oswego, once again, it's great because we do some benchmarking against ourselves, but we also compare to cities regionally and then nationally to see how we are doing. And Lake Oswego continues to rank exceptionally high across every category, far surpassing both regional and national benchmarks. Nearly all residents surveyed, so 97%, rated the overall quality of life in Lake Oswego as excellent or good. So we are incredibly proud of these results, and we view them as a foundation, of course, not as a finish line. We always use the survey as kind of a way to gauge where we could be doing things differently, where we could be doing things better. But it's a great credit. Many of our department directors, city management, are here today, and it's a credit to the work they do day in and day out to continue building trust in the community. So two of the things that emerge from the surveys in the past and through our community outreach are that community members want us to find ways to make people feel welcome and connected, and they want us to continue investing in public safety and emergency preparedness. So last year, following that feedback, we recharged our 50 plus advisory board, and that was I'm not going to get to the point where I serve on 50 plus. I was always so proud. I'll never get assigned to that board. And now I'm like, I can get assigned to that board. So we got to do something about it. So we recharged the 50 plus advisory board to our community health and resiliency advisory board. Our world is changing in so many ways, and there's so many methods to, of course, stay connected to friends and family locally and all across the globe, really. But at the same time, there's an increasingly high number of folks experiencing loneliness and seeking connection. And we heard from youth in town, especially the desire to have more intergenerational connections and to build on the bonds and reciprocal learning between two of our largest demographics, our students and our seniors. So the Community Health and Resiliency Advisory Board will be providing the council with strategic guidance on enhancing the community's ability to prepare for emergencies. They'll be making recommendations that foster social connection. They'll be developing outreach strategies and public programming to keep residents informed and connected to local support systems. So this shift will position not only what the city council and organization invest in, but it also prioritizes the community, knowing their neighbors, community connection, and an overall sense of belonging. And the other week, every year we have a board and commission summit. So all together once a year and kind of take a look at the year ahead. And this year we did something different. We kind of had this think tank, and people have so many great ideas on little programs and activities we can implement to improve the community. So let's bring all these ideas together and have a little competition. We're very competitive. And one of the ideas that emerged from this exercise was a program called 4 From Your Door, which asks neighbors, because we tell people, meet your neighbors. People got a lot of neighbors, and that's kind of daunting, so you don't do it, you know. And then the Community Health and Resiliency Advisory Board kind of came up with this. They said, let's keep it simple. If you tell people meet 4 neighbors, you go, okay, I can do that. I can meet 4 neighbors, people right around you. So meeting 4 adjacent neighbors, and then having the neighborhoods launch a Get to Know Your Neighbor campaign. And this resonates with me. It's just very simple and doable, something that has a big impact. And if you are a business, a brick and mortar, it can also be knowing your business neighbors. Good to know you. Okay, something else big happened in 2025, and that was the opening of the Lake Oswego Recreation and Aquatic Facility. It's a big deal for the city. In 2019, Lake Oswego voters passed a $30 million parks and recreation bond. And with that, we were able to make investments in many existing parks. We renovated many of our facilities like the Adult Community Center. We expanded parks, amenities. Then, of course, with the opening of the LORAC as well as the Recife Park, newest park in town over next to LORAC. We have been welcoming so many. Does anyone use the LORAC? Oh, right. Okay, yeah, very good. It's packed out there, honestly. The parking lot looks huge. I can't find a place to park, which is great. The opening of the LORAC included the renovation of the golf course as well. There was a time before the pandemic we were thinking of maybe just closing the golf course. Golf was really on the decline, but then the pandemic happened, and everyone wanted to get back out and play golf, and so we renovated that golf course. I'll tell you, we had the busiest year I've ever had at the golf course, because it's brand new. But we hope that trend continues. Part of the council vision in citing the LORAC out, the Stafford area, was having between Lusher Farms, Azalea Field, Recife Park, the LORAC, the golf course, all together kind of creating a hub of synergistic activity where people can come with their kids, their families, and there's a whole host of activities for people to do. That seems to be happening, which is great to see. Is anyone here? I am the oldest in my family. So does anybody here have a big brother though? People with big brothers. I always wish that I had a big brother. But now we all have a big brother, and it's called Placer AI. It's something that the city is using. It's a little, but it's a good thing. So now when we have events, they use this technology to know where and it's anonymous. It doesn't know it's like you. But it knows in general how many people are asked. So when we have like a tree lighting, for instance, we can know how many people are coming, where they're coming from. So how many people are coming from within Lake Oswego, how many people are coming, and then where they go after. Yes, but again, it's anonymous, but it's very cool. It's great technology to kind of track, especially when we're doing our economic development work. When we bring people into town for events, are they staying? Are they going out to eat afterwards? Are they going to see a show? Or are they, hightailing it back to Walton, or where they came in from? Okay. Don't think too hard about it. South Shore Fire Station. Who knows when the South Shore Fire Station was built? Oh. You know, not except for Chief Martin. What do you think it was built?
1938.
38? Wow, okay. No, sooner than that. I wish it lasted. 62, 40, 71. So anyway, it's pretty small. Let me tell you, so the South, and it needs some work. So it's the oldest of our fire stations. And it is just in really bad shape. Not only, it's beyond just, it's not seismically safe, of course, but it's just, if I don't know if some of you have taken a tour, we've been giving tours of the station, it's just in bad shape. And so we convened a task force to look at, okay, what are the options? Could we renovate the existing station? Do we want to keep the station? Do we even need the station? That was the first. Could we do with one less station? And Lake Oswego is an interest with the lake in the middle. Having the stations, all the stations that we have are critical to the response times. great statistics about how more likely you are to survive a cardiac event in Lake Oswego because of the fire department, where all members of the fire department are paramedics. And the response times are just so quick that you're much more likely to survive a serious cardiac event in Lake Oswego than you are in other communities, which is an important thing. So the task force determined that yes, we need a new fire station. You can't remodel the old one. You gotta scrape it, build a new fire station, and then the existing location is in fact the best location for that fire station. So the council's been exploring the options. We're engaged in the design of the station, and we are looking early this year at putting a bond on the May ballot to then pay for the fire station. And so look out for more on that. But it's so far in the polling and the feedback we've received, it's a very strongly supported project, and it is very important to the overall public safety of the community. Transportation has been another top priority for us and for the region. Community surveys always list transportation as a high priority for our residents, especially as they relate to the maintenance of neighborhood city streets, the ease and safety of traveling by bicycle, and the ease and safety of walking in Lake Oswego. Those three are the top kind of transportation components that matter to our residents. And so this means that we need more investment in our local transportation networks. In this last year, we completed construction of 4,785 feet, so that's just under a mile of new concrete sidewalks on Lakeview Boulevard, Treetop Lane, Overlook Drive, and Meadowlark Lane. And this continues a program that the city's been implementing now for the past handful of years, every year constructing new pedestrian pathway projects that connect neighborhoods to schools and neighborhoods to our business districts and parks. So Lakeview alone, everyone knows Lakeview, that was a major project. Lakeview wasn't just adding a sidewalk. Lakeview was an entire street redo, and Director Rooney knows this project very well. It added the city's largest stormwater facility ever. Is now, and you don't see it because it's underground, but was installed in Lakeview, and that project was over 2,400 feet of new sidewalk, curb, and gutter on the north side of Lakeview, a highly visible crossing and parking at the Lake Grove Swim Park, which is great. 3,360 feet of new stormwater pipe, 25 stormwater catch basins, and then in addition to that, largest underground stormwater facility. So that's 4,470 feet of newly reconstructed roadway between South Shore and Iron Mountain Boulevard. So a huge improvement to Lakeview. We try to do this when we do a street. We try to do different components of the street. It's sometimes people think we can just add the sidewalk, but whenever you put a sidewalk in, it changes the way the water flows. So then you have to add the stormwater, because not only do our streets not have the sidewalks, they also don't have the stormwater, get the puddles. So we really try to take it all in at one time. We also adopted, as a part of making our streets safer, the Go Slow speed reduction program. We switched the residential speeds from 25 miles an hour to 20 miles an hour, and we completed phase 1 of that project, which involved replacing about 200 existing 25-mile-per-hour speed signs with the 20-mile-per-hour speed signs. And then phase 2 will involve installing new posts and new signs, and that will take place throughout 2026. Now, at the same time that we're investing in our local network, I think many of you are aware that the state is having real trouble with their transportation package, which was to fund the Oregon Department of Transportation, one hand, and TriMet and public transportation throughout the state on the other. The governor and the legislature, they're about to enter their short session, and they're considering putting that, well, it's been referred to the ballot, and the legislature is considering putting it on the May ballot, but it's leaving, the city is impacted, by all of this. An increase in the gas tax, not only is it used by ODOT, but a portion of it flows to our counties and to our cities. And we are having to, the money that we're spending on our streets is going to less and less every year. Like everything else, the cost of performing these projects goes up. And the streets are the one thing that we put a lot of general fund dollars into. We don't have enough just through street fees to accomplish the work that we would need to accomplish it. The transportation package as planned would have provided the city with maybe $1.5-ish, $2 million a year extra, which is a significant amount of money. So then that's money from our general fund that we can put to other needs within the city. But now we don't have that. So we're kind of back at the point of needing to look at, well, we're just paying close attention to what the state is doing. These impact the state, big projects throughout the state, as well as things here locally. And the other big piece of this is TriMet. So they have a $300 million annual budget gap. And this has been a huge topic of conversation regionally. TriMet is cutting service dramatically. In Lake Oswego, they're eliminating line 37, which is the service from downtown here on Country Club and Boone's Ferry. And then line 53, Westland Mayor Lori and I were just last year out of the ribbon cutting, celebrating this new line 153, which goes through Stafford, and it connects Westland and Lake Oswego, but also the Lorac with downtown Lake Oswego, and now they're cutting that line, altogether. So the other really detrimental part of all of this is they are reducing the Lyft paratransit service, which picks people up at their home who can't get to a bus stop, and that is used here in Lake Oswego, but it's only accessible within a certain distance of bus lines. So when they remove the bus lines, the Lyft gets cut as well. So our city and other neighboring cities are looking for long-term solutions to this problem. I mean, we all know how transit is funded primarily through a payroll tax on businesses, and then there's a portion that employees pay that goes into a larger statewide fund that's allocated to both TriMet and other transit districts. But it is hard for us to understand how we're really getting good return on everything that we are all paying into TriMet when we virtually have no service here, and our needs in the community cannot be met. So that's something that the city council is working with our neighboring cities on addressing. Okay, we're talking about a little bit about our housing production strategy. And House Bill 2003 was legislation adopted by the Oregon legislature in 2019, and in order to help local jurisdictions meet the housing needs of residents throughout the state, the bill required cities over 10,000, so that's we are included in that, to analyze the future housing needs of the residents by performing a housing needs analysis to say, okay, what the housing that you have, and what's the housing that you're going to need. And then they said you're also going to have to do, can't just do the analysis. We've always done the analysis. That was nothing new. Everyone did the analysis. But they said, well, now you need to do a strategy. Tell how are you going to get there? So we did a housing production strategy. So the Lake Oswego housing production strategy is an 8-year roadmap, so it runs through 2032, and it's designed to address a projected need for 2,000 new housing units by 2043. Lake Oswego is not projected to grow. We're very limited, right? We don't have any new land. It's all just existing land and redevelopment. So it's a slight growth. But some of the things that we're doing, some of the strategies within our plan are a development code audit. It's reviewing and amending the community development code to identify regulatory or process barriers that may hinder housing development and economic growth. We're just getting ready to accept a grant actually for Metro to do some of that work. We're looking at rezoning for capacity. We're evaluating commercial and mixed-use areas for potential rezoning to allow for residential development, focusing on kind of land that's underutilized right now. And financial incentives. We have implemented a nonprofit corporation low-income housing tax exemption to make some more affordable housing projects more financially viable. And then we are also updating the Foothills District, which we see as Lake Oswego's newest upcoming neighborhood. As many of you know, the community had a plan for Foothills back in 2012. It kind of went politically upside down, and it had to get put on the shelf. We've taken that plan off the shelf, we've blown off the dust, and now we're looking at it once again in conjunction with the wastewater treatment plant project, which was located in Foothills. The city is in the process actually the city of Portland owns our wastewater treatment plant. The city of Lake Oswego has acquired land next to that site, and we'll be building a new wastewater treatment plant and acquiring the site of an old wastewater treatment plant from the city of Portland for $1, but it's very dirty. We have to clean it up, so it's not a very big deal, but it's really good land. And that site is also kind of like the fire station at the end of its useful life. There is an option to renovate the existing, but it's actually the most expensive option, and it's that old technology with those big outdoor clarifiers. And that was one of the big problems with Foothills redevelopment before, is you're right next to a wastewater treatment plant, but if the wind was blowing the wrong way, you knew that you were next to a wastewater treatment plant. The new plant will be all underground, so it doesn't have the odor issues or the visibility issues there. So a big part of the Foothills plan, I serve as the council liaison to our community advisory group that we have working through public engagement on foothills. And one of the biggest challenges is access. You know, right now we have the one driveway down into foothills, and redevelopment down there for sure is going to require that we put in at least one other access point. So the infrastructure development of foothills is going to take quite a lot of resources for certain. But we look at there's a lot of desire on the committee to really connect. We want the downtown and foothills to kind of work together. We don't want it to be downtown and then there's this other thing, foothills. We want the two to really flow together, to be connected, where people could either find themselves down in foothills or up in downtown and be able to walk and connect the two, really connect the river, especially to the downtown. So we're very excited about the prospects for both foothills goals. And then on economic development, as part of the 2025 City Council goals, the council adopted the goal of supporting business investment and job creation in Lake Oswego, which had 4 main initiatives. One was to continue to partner with urban development partners, UDP, on the North Anchor redevelopment. Many of you are familiar with that. It's over here on B Avenue. There's now a fence up around those buildings. That has, many of you also know, that has been a challenging site to redevelop. The city acquired those 2 parcels and is planned for a boutique hotel development on one parcel, and then a mixed-use multifamily retail development on the other. So it's a very exciting project. We, the council, has a lot of faith in our partner, UDP, who's invested a lot of money in the project thus far, and we're working to kind of break things together to break ground. They have recently actually acquired the sites, both East site, which is good, it's a milestone. We continue to advance that project forward. The other piece was, again, beginning the update of the Foothills District Plan, and the city's also in the process of will be in the process of evaluating our Lake Grove urban renewal plan. So, we have 2 urban renewal districts right now, Lake Oswego, the Lake Grove, and the East End. The East End has been around for a long time, many decades, and it is about to be, the North Anchor is actually the final project in the East End, and we'll close out the East End district. The Lake Grove urban renewal plan is what helped us finance the improvements to Boones Ferry Road. So now we're looking at, there's a phase 2 to Boones Ferry Road, and there may be other projects that we want to accomplish in Lake Grove, so we'll be looking at that plan. And then we are collaborating with the Chamber of Commerce and other community partners to promote Lake Oswego as a destination for visiting, dining, shopping, enjoying the arts and events. We took a look. We engaged the city contracted with Marketech to prepare an economic vitality plan focusing on the activities and actions over the next 3 years on economic prosperity and jobs. This looked at kind of current conditions in Lake Oswego, and there's some really good news when you look at the vacancy rates at retail in Lake Oswego, very, very, very low. Office vacancies are a little higher than they were like pre-pandemic, but they're much lower than they are for the region as a whole, which is also positive. But the main thing we hear from, especially like our small storefront businesses, they just need more people. No one has too many people. No one's turning people away. And so the city wants to be a good partner, working with the chamber on what are we doing to bring people in to Lake Oswego. And so we're working with the chamber and the community partners on doing a better job. We've never really done anything to market the community, just to say, hey, we want you to come here. People do. We get lots of visitors. People love to come to Lake Oswego. We have so many great businesses here. We have so many great amenities. It's just a great place to be. Our parks, the events that we do, so we want to do a better job intentionally welcoming people to the community and bringing more folks into town. We have a QR code here, which, if you'd like to scan it, it leads to the economic vitality, this report that we have prepared that has a lot of the good data on it that you may be interested in. So I invite you to take a look at that. Okay. Okay. Oh, you want me to put the data up? Okay. Yeah, well, no one can read this, but we can, when you click the link, you can go. It is really kind of interesting to go through too what some of the demographics in the town, what kind of businesses we have, the different employment levels. We're very diverse community in terms of the economic sector, and it's just a great, we like visit the Angels. It's great to see you all and other companies relocating to Lake Oswego. We really strive to be a great place for people to live, people to have a business, and to grow a business, find housing, jobs, and that can create seeks your ideas. What would you like to see from Lake Oswego? What could we be doing more of? What should we be doing less of? What ideas do you have? So I invite you to, if you go to the city website, right there on the homepage, there's a place you can go to give input to the city council for the goal setting. We really appreciate the feedback you have, especially as members of the business community. So I just want to close by thanking you all for your partnership and your support. The fact that you are all here investing your time in making Lake Oswego a better place and engaging with one another means a lot and it makes a big difference in our community. And now I would love to answer any questions and hear what you all are thinking. Thank you so much.
Hi, question regarding the North Anchor project. Have they set a date to start building that? Have they raised the money?
They have, yes, so that is what they're doing, is raising the money.
The money's not raised yet.
The city council has a deadline in our agreement with them for this summer.
June, July?
June.
Thank you very much.
Good question.
Oh, I'm Susan Stoll. I'm a realtor with Elite Real Estate.
Thank you, Susan.
Good morning, I'm Diane Mead with Pets First, Diane's Priority Pet Care, and I have been a resident this time around since June, the end of June, beginning of July 1980. I've seen a lot of changes go on here, and one of the things that has amazed me over the years is how well Lake Oswego leadership spends our tax dollars. It is amazing. If you look at how we spend it versus some other communities and entities, it is triple good. The other thing is, being that longtime resident, and we lived here before then also, South Shore Fire Station was pretty much brand new when we moved here the second time around, and we live very close to it. And it definitely needs replacement. Gender-wise, it needs replacement. Building structure-wise, it needs replacement. All kinds of things need replacement, and I won't go into all of them, but I know some of them personally. And so when that bond comes up for vote, please understand it's imperative to vote yes.
Hello, Mr. Mayor. I want to thank you for your comment about the situations happening nationally in Minneapolis. Really appreciate your heartfelt words to the residents of this community. I didn't even know this, I just learned this yesterday, that today is actually a don't work day nationally, a shut down work, don't go to work, oh, close your business, don't have economic activity and protest. And it really, for me personally, it seems counterintuitive. It's like, oh my gosh, why would you want to shut down economic activity, which hurts all of us? It doesn't necessarily send the greatest message. I'm just curious if you have a position, or if our chamber has a position, as these events unfold, what are we doing for us locally in the context of what's happening nationally? Oh, Sonia Fisher, Fisher Family Law, creating new tomorrows.
Yeah, I mean, everyone is, we are all feeling the events taking place nationally. And I don't know about all of you in your workplaces, but I can definitely speak for myself in my workplace. I mean, this is top of mind, for my employees, and has been, for the past months. And all of us, whether we're business owners, managers, I mean, we're all leaders here in the community. People are turning to us for guidance, for leadership, to know that they are safe. If you look at safety is the number one thing we hear. And I know we think safety, and yes, we think of Chief Burke, we think of the great job the fire departments, the police department do keeping us safe. But it's beyond that. Public safety isn't just am I going to not be the victim of a violent crime? Is my house not getting broken into? It's does my voice matter in this community? Do I have a say? Do I have leaders in the community who are looking out for my best interests? And we rank very highly because we are that kind of community where people do know no matter who they are, whatever role they play in the community, whether they work here, whether they live here, whether they both, doesn't matter. They have a voice, it matters. And we continue to drive that point home. And so I just want to thank all of you for what you're doing in your organizations, in your neighborhoods, in your families, in your social circles, to let people know that they matter and that they are supported in what is very, very difficult and challenging times for a lot of folks. So thank you for the question.
Chevalier, retired attorney with Buckley Law. There's a lot of concern generally among business owners about what's happening with our region in terms of demographics, population decrease in Oregon, businesses not moving in, businesses moving out. There's been some recent articles about that, and just looking at the overall vitality of our region, which Lake Oswego has done really well, but it's a small part of our region. You get together with your mayors of the other communities in our region and talk about the underlying economic issues that are going to affect us all.
Yes. Thank you, Rob, for your great question. The cities and leaders in general throughout the region are very well connected. So we have both within the county group, so all of the cities within Clackamas County, we have one group that connects the urban cities in Clackamas County and one group that connects both the urban and the rural cities within Clackamas County. We meet every month. In addition to that, there's groups that meet regionally. So all the cities in the metro region, in the Tri-County area, meet and convene and talk about, and I'll give it back to you in 1 second, to talk about issues impacting all of us. And then there's the mayors of the region. We have our own group of Metro Mayors Consortium, which I serve as the vice chair of, and we get together every month. We lobby before the state legislature on issues common to the cities, and these are all topics that come up on a regular basis. Just recently, there's a Metro Policy Advisory Committee, so this is made up of the counties and cities of our Tri-County region. Metro is getting more involved in taking a look at land use as it relates to economic development. Not necessarily a new thing for them, but we're seeing that this system that we've had over these past decades, is being careful about how we grow. We've been very careful. We want to protect, the farmland and the region. This is just my personal thoughts. The region has gone to protect what they classify the farmland into different tiers. They said, well, there's this high value farmland. We're going to really protect this farmland. I'm really curious, what this farmland has produced. What has it done? Because we are in the third year of a housing crisis, a designated housing emergency designated by the governor. We are not building ourselves out of it. Is this system really working? We've been very hesitant to expand, and then when we have expanded, we have areas like Stafford that were brought in to urban reserves. Well, does anyone want to develop Stafford? It's very expensive to develop. It's almost impossible. So here we have put all of these eggs into these baskets, and they're just not working. Damascus, the whole thing went upside. So then people went, well, so in all the areas we thought were going to develop, they don't want to develop, or they're not going to develop, and so we're just sitting here stagnant. Then there's communities like Hillsborough. They'd like to do a large 1,600-acre expansion. They have a bill in the legislature this short session to do that. They want to add a lot more in. We do not have industrial land to bring new employment here. So we're really kind of stuck. And it is good to see the region asking the questions, has this system really been working? Or is there more we need to do? Do we need to be a little more permissive in terms of opening up our boundaries and bringing more land in so that we can add jobs and we can add the housing instead of waiting 50, 60, 80 years for this, plot of land that's, no one wants to develop. So, good question. No easy.
One back here, hold up.
Sure. Stacy Yost, Neo Home Loans. I actually live in the first edition Forest Hills neighborhood, and on the note of sustainability, we do have the cottage clusters that have been put in. Difficult for some folks in the neighborhood. I hear that you do want to put in further. I do understand the reason why, but I'd like to find out how you are monitoring and assessing the actual capabilities and needs for the community, how it will impact the community, the neighborhoods surrounding, which are mostly single-family residences. And I've heard that some, perhaps, rumor, that some of those clusters are experiencing some flooding issues. So if that's the case, can we assess before more clusters are built within the community? I'm not opposed to them, but I do think we need to manage and monitor them carefully. Are we watching that?
Ms. Joseph is referring to the middle housing codes. The city, all cities within the state, were required to adopt, basically eliminate single family. So this is not an option. That's the city's option. The cities had to enable developments like townhomes, condominium developments, cottage clusters like new form of development. in all of our zones where we would otherwise allow single family zones. Now in Lake Oswego, we see a couple of the first developers coming in. So like anything else, people can build with it. If someone would like to buy a plot of land and build a single family home, they're certainly welcome to do so. If they'd like to build townhomes, townhouses, they're welcome to do that as well. I think a lot of it we'll see, how the market plays out. These homes that you're referring to were just finished. I'm sure that people in the development community, the real estate community, are watching to see like how they sell, at what price point they sell, and how appealing they are to the general market. So while we see those, we still see a lot of primarily single family home development is primarily what people are doing on the redevelopment front. So I think it's a new thing, and we're all kind of watching to see how the market reacts and what happens. But what we've ensured on the council is that when developments are put in, honestly, we're kind of getting hamstrung, by some of the state rules. Like the council would love to make sure that there's adequate parking for all these things, but we're not allowed to. We're not allowed to require that anymore. So a lot of the things that we used to do to mitigate the impacts of these developments, we're just no longer allowed to do. So it is what it is. The city level, we've been encouraging people to communicate more with the state legislature because they are, it is our state representative, state senator, who are advocating for, these changes and are in a position to actually do something about it. We are just kind of trying to make the best of it as we can here at NLO, doing what we can within those parameters. Thank you for the question.
Other questions?
Maybe just a quick one. So a quick one on safety, just so I can just ask you.
Let's get the microphone.
Last year.
So everyone else can introduce yourself.
Catherine, Lake Oswego Pet Sitting, and I'm out at night, driving to pet visits, and I live here because it's very safe, and I just wanted to know if there's any, they were using drones for safety with the police, is there any other measures they're taking for safety?
So you know about the drone?
I know about drones.
Yeah, they have a drone. They love the drone. They've
Yeah,
used the drone. They've deployed the drone. Yes. But that's for like search and rescue.
Search and rescue only.
As well. Sometimes rescue. Sometimes search. Yes.
Is there anything new?
Anything new? New technologies.
Yeah.
Chief, you want new technologies in policing? Besides the we have a new dog.
It's not trained out here with just calling myself chief. So we're always looking at new technologies. I think when you take a look at the pillars of 21st century policing, that's one of the things that we really want to take focus on is how do we advance, how do we move with our communities. So the drones have been a great example of how we've moved. I do want to make sure that when we talk about drones, that we do respect and recognize the privacy of our residents, and we use it judiciously. A lot of search, like rescue type stuff, but also searches in areas where we have court orders allowing us to do it. So I just want to make sure we kind of tamp that down just a little bit. We continue to look at new technologies like where we are with body-worn cameras, what systems do we have in place, records management systems, things that would bore you to death, but actually make us much more efficient.
Thank you, Chief. Question?
Yeah, hi, Kabir Bhatia from Hello Every Day. Mayor Buck, I'd love to get an update on the first year of public access to the lake and how that went. I thought it went pretty well. But I'd love to hear about litigation updates as well.
Okay, thank you for the question. We have a report online. There's a report that you can look at if you're interested. We did a great job kind of tracking the numbers, if you will, how many folks came down and got in. What the city did to ensure safety was we installed a sign laying out kind of the rules of the road, if you will, for the lake. And then installed also a life jacket station like we have at George Rogers, so people come without a life vest, they can put one on because that's important. And then for the first year, we also stationed a ranger there to help people understand the rules since it's a new thing. And it's not great access. You gotta haul if you're bringing a paddleboard or canoe, you gotta haul it across the road. And so just ensuring that it was a safe process in that, since it was new to everyone. And there was no, I want to say, one of the biggest things that we heard from people was like, there's a lot of people, especially in the Bay, who have kind of been accustomed to the Bay being relatively vacant, and especially right at the very beginning, the issue was the people were fishing, and they had a little trolley trolling motors are not allowed, you can't, it's just paddles, you know. So once we said no motors, that kind of did away with the fishing. But that's kind of the adjustment is understandable. But there was safety-wise, I mean, there were no safety, incidents. Obviously, being on the water is always a dangerous activity, whether it's in a lake, river, in the ocean, and people need to exercise good caution. And the lake is a crowded lake, and there's people swimming, there's people on paddleboards, there's people in kayaks, and there's people in large motorboats. It's kind of like a road race. There's people on bikes, there's people walking, there's people in big cars, and it's like, yeah, that if people aren't paying attention, bad things are going to happen. So we continue providing that education at the entrance, but overall, it's been a smooth rollout. Thank you. Good question.
Thank you.
I'm just going to ask all those difficult questions today. I do have a boat on the lake, and so a follow-up question to that. I have to make sure that my boat has been steam cleaned in order to be able to go into the lake. With the introduction of some fishing trolling engines that came in, I know the Lake Corps is working really hard, I adore the Lake Corps, they're great. But my concern is that some invasive species may have been able to come in from some of those engines. What is the lake doing? And I know we probably have to work with state officials and all the state rangers and all the rest to be able to monitor the small engines that are being purportedly carried in from some of the young folks fishing that show up with a backpack, comes out of their backpack as they're in Liquid Bay, and then the engine gets put into the water. Hearsay, but that's what I'm hearing from friends of mine who live on the lake. Is there any way that we can address that so that our lake does not have invasive species, which has been very carefully monitored and controlled over the past many years, and many residents who do have boats on the lake adhere to that and make sure to ensure that doesn't happen?
Yeah, so the motorized boats are not allowed to the public access point, so that's the important thing. The issue of the invasive species, people brought it up in the court case on like on paddleboards and kayaks, but what the court found is it's not invasive species on kayaks and paddleboards. You take it out of the water each time, you rinse off your paddleboard. So I know that argument was put forth by the Lake Board. They were worried about paddleboards and kayaks carrying invasive species, but the court found that just wasn't a legitimate argument, frankly. But we don't want no motorized, no trolling motors allowed. So that's a good question.
Okay, thank you, sorry, I apologize, we've got to close down here. But thank you, Mr. Mayor, we appreciate it. Third year in a row. For all of you to know, we thank you all very much. We still can stand in here and network. I have a question for everyone in the room here. Please raise your hand if you are a member of the Chamber of Commerce or you work for a member of the Chamber of Commerce. Okay. If your hand is not raised and you're curious, just turn to someone who's raised their hand and ask them, why are you a member? Because we have fun doing these things. Last thing I want you all to know is that next Friday's networking is at Tavern on Cruise. So feel free to join us there. If you're not a member, the first 2 times you come is complimentary, and then you need to join. Liz, any other announcements you'd like to make? Great. Thank you all very much. Have a great weekend.